remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't recharge unless your primary levels are below 2%. Also, if you haven't patched your navigation software, do so after this video. The last thing you need is more synths bumping into walls. Alright, that's all for now. Resume your duties.
Just a routine patrol, sir.
It's stuck.
Into each life, very small. That was that relative trail confirming that thought. Here's the latest news, or at least the latest news I've heard about. Maybe everyone else already knows. The Brotherhood continues to do stuff on Commonwealth. They were last seen attacking Fort Strong. The fort was, filled with super mutants. So that's fun. I guess maybe they're gonna take over. I guess that's an improvement, right? Brotherhood instead of, mutants. That was a joke. By the way, I was totally kidding. Didn't really mean it. And if the Brotherhood is listening, I'm sure they're very nice. This is Billie Holiday, and she's hold please. Easy living, Billie Holiday.
Nothing to report, sir.
Best part of my day is coming home to my girls.
Remember to conserve power at every opportunity.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Child synth. It's just remarkable.
Greetings, sir. Welcome to the commissary.
Hi, Doc.
Would you care for food?
Welcome. It is so good to meet you. I truly hope you'll come to think of the Institute as your home.
Let's see what you got.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary
Terminal's
drive
got this
circuit.
locked.
That's the third primary drive breakdown.
Nice.
As far as I'm concerned, the phase out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 blown up.
Here we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks again.
Of course.
apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you. Remember to practice good sanitation habits at all times.
I hear we're about to get a new food supplement.
Tex Beneke, folks. You're listening to,
It's my responsibility to make
Diamond
sure
City
this
Radio.
place runs smoothly.
If you're listening at all. I kind of feel like the last thing I'd want to do is, go looking for radioactive material. But not Warren Smith. Here's uranium rock.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project.
Jammed. Broken.
Bob Crosby there. That's a good one, huh? Thank you, Bob. Here's the latest news, or at least the latest news that I've heard about. Maybe everyone else already knows. The Brotherhood continues to do stuff around the Commonwealth. They were last seen attacking Fort Strong. The fort was, I mean, as far as I know, filled with super mutants. So that's fun. I guess maybe they're gonna take over. I guess that's an improvement, right? Brotherhood instead of, mutants. That was a joke. By the
I
way.
can't express how
Doc.
truly
They weren't
humbling
kidding.
it is to stand
You really
here.
are here.
Brotherhood is
Well, all
listening.
right. I'm
Sure.
Allie
Very
Filmer.
nice.
When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going
This
all
one,
that time?
I mean, it's I'll just...
What makes you ask? I'm a complete stranger to you.
I suppose when I heard your story, I felt sorry for you. You've suffered more tragedy than any one person deserves. Your whole world is gone. I'm sorry. I know that was a very personal question. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of...
Sure.
As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, then at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
They're dragging their feet on the
3
targeting
levels of
package
approval.
upgrades I
You
asked for.
believe that?
Maybe I should take
3!
some courses with me. Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
Excuse me, Doctor.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
If the synths want to be free, you should let them.
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Very well.
Hey,
Oh, go ahead.
your thoughts?
We'll make something out of the Commonwealth yet.
Nothing else for now.
Sure, sure.
Have you ever fired a machine gun?
I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be?
I've convinced her that the Institute is the enemy, not the Brotherhood.
Well done, Knight. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate her aboard the Prydwen. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade, and we can't afford to take any chances. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed.
Report right now, Knight.
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
You mean being zapped into energy and then put back together again? Piece of cake.
You can make jokes all you want, but I wouldn't put so much faith in technology I didn't understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
For all we know, that thing could be a recipe for Deathclaw surprise.
Well, it's the best we could do with such short notice. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, I've got a new assignment for you. So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
Why all the secrecy?
We're pouring every resource we have into this thing. We can't risk tipping off the Institute. For now, the fewer people that know about it, the better. Come on, it's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in.
You know, I'm fluent in uncooperative old machines.
This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave.
I
It's
would
the
gladly
most
die if it meant
advanced
one of my
robot
brothers
the
would
Brotherhood
live.
has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational.
My help?
Why don't we leave the repairing to my scribes? You're going to be... Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
Why is the power blowing out his CPU?
Liberty Prime has a highly complex power system. A good deal of that system was damaged when he exploded. So I'm working in the dark, trying to come up with parts on my own. Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison Lee to return to the Brotherhood. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little over a decade ago. I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some reason. If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system, we can get the big guy moving.
What did you want?
It's crazy stuff, right? I mean, weird. Anyway, it's well, it's something to think about, I guess. There's more Butcher Pete.
At Victoria.
Hey,
Do something for you?
wait there.
I'll stay put.
Over here.
Can do.
Move here.
Sure thing.
Hey.
Go on.
Hey, Valentine.
Looks like you got something to say.
Your thoughts?
Not that I'd ever speak ill of my fellow bot, but I don't think another war machine is what the Commonwealth needs right now.
That's all for now.
All right.
Internal monitoring active. Looks quiet.
Looks like we have a thruster imbalance. Tweaking pit.
Attention! This is a reminder. All recovered technology must be presented immediately to Proctor Quinlan for evaluation. Anyone found in possession of undocumented technologies will be subject to inquiry and punishment.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
What changed your mind?
Nothing changed my mind. I promised you I'd return to the Brotherhood, and I've kept my end of the bargain.
Do I need to remind you why you made that promise in the first place?
No, that won't be necessary. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
Unless you like getting shot, never turn your back on a gunner.
I always wondered what you looked like as a robot. Shabby.
ferals. Radiation has a twisted sense of humor.
There's no time to waste when there's work to be done.
You know those synths with the plastic faces? They creep me the heck out. Can't talk right now. Gotta clean the Mirelurk scat off my boots. Dead? Put one more in its head for good measure. Why take the chance?
Don't despair, brother. We're here to save you.
Proctor.
Wow, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Charming, isn't she?
That was like their base.
Sorry about that, Ingram.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on a few issues, but I've dealt with worse. Besides, Dr. Lee's worth all the aggravation. We're working with one of Prime's original designers. I don't see it getting any better than that. In fact, since things are going so well, we're gonna have you start building his electromagnetic actuators.
You're acting like I know what those are.
Oh, I know you haven't the faintest idea what I'm talking about. I just like watching you squirm. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in its limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list. Don't lose them.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high... According to Proctor Quinlan, the best... We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time...
Once you start building the actuators, good luck.
Eat it.
want to win the people's hearts and minds, we have to spread the word, brother, across the Commonwealth.
Ingram?
That's all 4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Right on schedule. I've completed the restoration of Prime's basic functions, and he's ready to go. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to the system why it can't move right now.
Well, as soon as my scribes get those actuators in place, we'll have his arms and legs installed in no time. Which brings me to your next assignment. It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk, but he's missing one last important element. His nukes. Without them, his offensive systems aren't operating at peak capacity.
What's Prime armed with?
Prime has 2 weapon systems, his eye laser and his nuke pack. The eye laser can target a hostile from hundreds of yards out and take it down with pinpoint accuracy. His nukes are modified Mark 28 nuclear bombs. They used to drop the things from bombers during the war. Just one of the nukes is equivalent to about 3 or 4 Fat Man shells. Basically, whatever it hits isn't getting up again. His eye laser is almost ready to go, but without nukes to load into his pack, he's fighting at less than half his capability.
I'll run down to the Super Duper Mart and pick some up.
Cute. I wish it was that simple. Prime's bomb pack is fitted for Mark 28 nuclear bombs, the same type of bombs that were dropped from aircraft during the Great War. The Commonwealth was a major staging area for the military's Air Force, so we assumed we wouldn't have trouble finding them. But since we arrived, our scouting teams haven't located a single bomb.
That's going to be a problem. Without a fully loaded nuke pack, Prime won't have the firepower to take on the Institute.
Can I build the nukes like I built the actuators?
I could build you 1,000 nuke casings, right now, but we've got nothing to put inside them. The Mark 28s have a specialized nuclear payload that requires the correct balance of fissile materials in order for them to detonate properly. In other words, I'd love to mix you a cocktail, but I'm all out of liquor. But before you give up hope, there's actually a silver lining. Proctor Quinlan has located some records regarding a military installation, which was used as a nuclear weapons storage facility. We're fairly certain this included a stockpile of the Mark 28s. The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
I'll head out there immediately.
Good, because that's... Scribe Halen's established a communication. I suggest you head out there first and establish a signal protocol with her, so hopefully by the time you've returned... Good luck, Knight.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
Get out there and find us those Mark 28
By the way,
nukes.
I'm totally kidding. Didn't really mean it. And if the Brotherhood is listening, I'm sure very nice. Please don't kill me. This here, well, please. Okay, it's Cole Porter, I guess. That's fun.
Your Geiger counter doing cartwheels too?
good to see you again, Knight. You've come a long way since you stumbled into the Cambridge police station.
How have things been over there?
Pretty well, actually. We've had the occasional synth attack, but so far we've been able to keep them from overrunning us. Thanks to the reinforcements and the air support, I'd say that site was secure.
What about those feral ghouls? They still a problem?
With a vertibird at our disposal? Not a chance. Anyway, I know you don't have time for small talk, so I'll get right to it. I've had the men set up the equipment we'll need to pinpoint you once you've found the bombs. We've rigged up this distress pulsar to emit a unique tone that we'll be listening for. When you find the bombs, plant the pulsar, and we'll handle the rest. After that, you should probably head back to Proctor Ingram and bring her your report.
I hope this plan works.
Look, I know you've been through the glowing sea before, but remember to keep an eye on your Geiger counter. If you don't, the radiation will cook you from the inside out. Good luck, Knight.
I could still get Willie's. Even break it. Not that it's not.
That was Bob Crosby. Maybe everyone else already knows. The Brotherhood continues to do stuff around the Commonwealth. The last scene attacking Fort Strong. The fort was filled with super mutants. So that's fun. I guess maybe they're gonna take over. Brotherhood. That was a joke. By the way, I'm totally kidding. Didn't really mean it. And if Brotherhood is listening, I'm sure they're very nice.
Maybe Carl wrote a song about tomorrow. Or at least, I guess, version of tomorrow. Which is pretty different from mine.
something for taste.
State your purpose, stranger. You walk on Atom's hallowed ground.
Who's Atom?
Atom is all. He is the bringer of light.
I'm looking for some bombs. Nuclear bombs.
You trivialize that which resides here. This place is holy. The children of Atom have sworn.
Uh-huh. What's this great divide?
One day, Atom will return, and his touch upon the earth will bring the great divide. His glow will spread, it will illuminate, and it will birth infinite worlds from within us all.
You know what? Enough of this nonsense. Tell me where the nukes are right now.
Your anger will not bring... You will leave this place at...
This is your last warning. Show me the nukes, or else.
No! Your time on this world has...
There are stories about... Well, it's some big contraption that's being built out there in the Commonwealth. No one that's mentioned it.
I'm gonna need a password.
They don't know what it does. Not for sure. This next part, there's mean, it's just people talking, you know? It doesn't make it true. Not necessarily. But it's been said. It has something to do with the Institute. Trying to blow it up. Or maybe disappear. Or something. There aren't really any details. If I were you, and saw this thing, you know, I'd run the other way. Are you a pistol-packing mama? If you are, the song is about you.
Hard to not let it get to you sometimes.
Heads up.
What do you need?
Your thoughts?
First time I met a feral, I hoped it would ignore me because I wasn't made of meat. I guess they'll eat anything.
Your thoughts?
Who do you think actually won the war? Nobody, I guess.
Your thoughts?
Should we get a move on?
Oh, nothing.
All right.
Going down. Boom. Going up.
Pharaoh set up a franchise way out here?
Hail, Knight.
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating, Proctor Ingram. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime, and I'm just hoping all the work I've done to keep his system stable are gonna hold.
Are you sure this is safe?
Of course. I've checked every connection, every circuit myself. Prime will hold together.
Proctor, all the readouts look green. I think it's time for you to perform the power shunt.
Actually, I think I'm gonna let you press the button. After all, without your help, we'd still be staring at a pile of disassembled parts.
It would be better if a trained technician performed that task, but I suppose you deserve to be the one to do it.
That thing should be scrapped for parts. Trust me, friend. Neither me nor the machine wins out in that transaction.
Heads up. Look alive. Look alive.
Something up?
Your thoughts?
All the resources they've got. The Brotherhood could do a lot of good. Shame they want to wipe out my kind instead.
Your thoughts?
Probably some decent parts still lying around here.
It's about time for you to go, Nick.
Sure. Suppose I'll head on home then.
Take every barrel, mutie, and synth, and shoot them into space.
Proctor Ingram?
Oh, this frame is driving me crazy. Got like 3 itches I can't even scratch.
Liberty Prime, back online.
Alright, let's run a basic diagnostic on him.
Diagnostic command accepted.
Give him a moment. He needs to adjust to his new configuration.
Voice module online. Audio functionality test initialized. Designation: Liberty Prime Mark II. Mission: the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska. Primary targets: any and all red Chinese invaders.
Let me run a system analysis of the battle readiness check.
Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Warning: nuclear weapon payload depleted. Reload required. Warning: power core offline. Running on external power only. Core restart recommended. Ability to repel red Chinese invaders compromised.
Green lights across the board here. He's looking good from where I'm sitting. Doctor, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the big guy here, I'd appreciate it. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't sure we'd be able to pull it off, but Liberty Prime's looking pretty good.
What was that he said about his power core?
Prime's in top shape, but his nuclear engine needs to be restarted. Right now, we have him running off of the Prydwen's engines. Once I get that sorted out, we'll send him off to kick in the Institute's front door. Before you head off to your next assignment, I have something for you. I came up with this little beauty myself. I think it'll add a bit more punch to your power armor.
You think I'll need it for my next assignment?
I don't know, but it never hurts to be prepared. Anyway, that's enough of that. You better hightail it up to the Prydwen. Elder Maxson said he needed to speak to you. And thank you, Knight. Without you, none of this would have been possible.
Is there anything you wish to tell me, Knight?
Am I being accused of something?
That remains to be seen. Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you retrieved from the Institute. A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. After careful analysis of the information, we've discovered Paladin Danse is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list.
That's impossible.
I'm afraid not. The evidence is quite damning. The data you brought back included a record of each subject's DNA. We keep the same information on file for all of our soldiers. Paladin Dance's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797. To make matters worse, he's gone AWOL. Disappeared without a trace. His sudden absence simply reinforces our conclusion that M797 and Paladin Danse are one and the same. I'm finding it difficult to believe that he never confided in you, and then swore you to secrecy.
You have to believe me. He never told me he was a synth.
Apparently, I've misjudged you, which means I've decided to take you at your word. However, that doesn't absolve you of your duty. Danse is a synth. He represents everything we hate, a monstrosity of technology. Our mission in the Commonwealth is clear. The Institute and its creations need to be destroyed in order to preserve our future, which leaves me facing the most difficult order I've ever given. I'm ordering you to hunt down Danse and execute him.
I don't know what to say.
This isn't a request that requires an answer, Knight. This is a direct order. Listen, I'm not blind to the fact that Danse was your mentor. And this isn't an easy burden to bear. But if we're to remain strong, we can't afford to make exceptions. Even when it means executing one of our own. Find Proctor Quinlan. He's been analyzed. And Knight, there's a promotion for you riding on the results of these orders. So don't disappoint me. You're dismissed.
Attention, this is a reminder. Any recovered historical, technological, or social documentation should be delivered directly to Proctor Quinlan.
I was told you were coming. Sorry about this
That is
business
all.
with Danse.
He'll be missed.
Doubtful. I wouldn't miss a synth any sooner than I'd miss a transistor radio. I was merely sorry that you'd been duped. No matter. I've been poring over Dance's duty reports, and unfortunately, I haven't found any concrete information. As you're well aware, Danse had intimate knowledge of the Commonwealth, and I'm afraid he could be seeking refuge. I think our best approach would be to identify every location he's ever visited and eliminate them as possibilities one by one. You may want to get comfortable. This could take quite a bit of...
What the hell is this crap about Danse being a synth?
I assume your outburst was a reference to some doubt regarding Dance's identity. I can assure you that my findings are quite accurate, Scribe.
So he sets Dance up, and then you knock him down. Is that it?
How did you hear about it?
There are no secrets in the Brotherhood. Maxon's made it clear that we're to locate Paladin Dance, and if we find him, report his location to you. That can only mean you've been sent to hunt him down.
Orders are orders.
Orders are orders? That's all you have to say? I can't believe that after everything Paladin Dance did for you, you're just gonna turn your back on him like this. There's obviously been a mistake, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
Scribe Halen, you're addressing a senior officer, and you will show him the respect that he's due. Or so help me, I'll have you brought up on charges. Now, unless you're here with information that can assist us, I suggest you return to the police station immediately.
Of course. My apologies, Proctor. I believe I have some information that's relevant to the search.
Very well then. Would you care to enlighten us? Or do we have to wait until you decide to grace us with your knowledge?
Knight, if you'd accompany me to the flight deck, I'd like to show you the information I've compiled firsthand. I've stored the data on my Vertibird gunship's computer.
I'll take anything that gets me closer to finding Dance.
Yes, sir.
Proceed, Knight. I'll continue doing my research here.
If you'll follow me, sir.
Scribe Halen.
So, are you ready to take on your first assignment?
No, I need more time.
That's all right. I understand. Grab whatever you need and check back.
Excuse me, Scribe Halen.
Do you actually plan on killing Paladin Dance?
That's a risky question, Halen.
I know it is, but I need you to listen to me for a minute. I've known Paladin Dance ever since I was an initiate. He trained me, showed me the ropes, and when I screwed up, he taught me to dust myself off and move on. He's earned my admiration, my respect, and my friendship. I don't care what Quinlan's report says. I don't care if he's a machine or not. He's still Dance.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Because someone has to before you rush off and carry out Maxon's orders without thinking about what you're doing. Dance is the most selfless person I've ever met. I've watched him risk his own life based on nothing more than principle alone. That's why I'm asking you, not just as a member of the Brotherhood, but as a human being. Give him a chance. Let him tell his side of the story. If you're not convinced by what he says, or somehow he's become truly lost to us, then you do what you have to do.
You'd have me disobey orders?
Can't you put the Brotherhood aside, even for a moment? Am I really asking that much? Just talk to him. Find out what's going on. If you still think he intends to bring harm to the Brotherhood of Steel, you do what you have to do. But if you see a glimmer of mercy or humanity behind his eyes, I beg you, let him run. Before the Prydwen showed up, Dance had me identify a fallback point if we ever lost the police station. It was Listening Post Bravo, an old pre-war U.S. military outpost on the northern frontier of the Commonwealth. It's isolated, and we're the only ones that knew about it. So, there's a good chance that's where he's headed. Just be careful. There's no telling what's coming to you from, the Jewel. The Great Green Jewel of the Commonwealth. It's Diamond City Radio. How about, Roy Brown? This is Butcher Pete, who butchers meat.
Stray radio signals keep pinging the array. Gonna try to filter it out.
Adjusting internal bayonet pressure. Green light across the board.
Commonwealth's a dangerous place. Make sure you gear up before you head out.
I'd gladly lay down my life to keep humanity from repeating the apocalypse.
Greetings, sir.
Going down.
Intruder, commencing identify yourself.
not surprised Maxon sent you. He never liked to do the dirty work himself.
Why didn't you tell me, Danse?
Because I didn't know. Until Quinlan got that list decoded, I thought synths were the enemy. I never expected to hear that I was one of them. If it wasn't for Haylen, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So, what are your orders? Does Maxon even want me alive?
No, but I don't know what to do.
Seems obvious to me. Look, I'm not blind to the fact that this must be difficult for you. I wish Maxon had sent someone else, but that doesn't change a thing. I'm a synth, which means I need to be destroyed. If you disobey your orders, you're not only betraying Maxon, you're betraying the Brotherhood of Steel and everything it stands for. Synths can't be trusted. Machines were never meant to make their own decisions. They need to be controlled. Technology that's run amok is what brought the entire world to its knees, and humanity to the brink of extinction. I need to be the example, not the exception.
If you really feel that way, why did you run in the first place?
The moment I learned the truth, I knew my life was in danger. I'm a soldier, so self-preservation kicked in. I needed to regroup and assess the situation. Once I got here, and I had some time to think, I realized I'd just made everything worse. I should have stayed on the Prydwen and accepted the inevitable. Like I said, I need to be the example, not the exception.
I can't tell if that's the human or the machine talking.
The fact that you're confused only strengthens my decision. I'm ready to accept the consequences of my true identity. Maxon's ordered you to execute me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to stand in your way.
If you're so eager to die, then do it yourself.
If you leave here without completing your orders, then I'll carry them out for you. Maxon's obviously testing you, and
If it needs to be done, then so be it.
I've never been prouder of you than I am right now, brother. It's been a pleasure serving with you.
Danny Kaye there singing. That was Starvation.
Ad Victorium, brother.
Coming to you from the jewel green. The green. The great green jewel of the Commonwealth. It's Diamond City Radio. Louis Jordan is up next. Spelled Lewis, but don't be fooled. This one I can relate to because I don't like talking to people.
Going up. Ground floor.
Got it.
Report, Knight. Have you handled the situation with Paladin Danse?
Do you want his holotags as proof?
That won't be necessary. Perhaps you should keep them as a reminder of your lapse in vigilance. Of course, Dance's execution creates a missing link in our chain of command. That traitor held quite an important position with us. I'm certain that you'll make a fine replacement. His quarters and all his possessions are now yours, including his personal suit of power armor. Congratulations, Paladin.
Body's not even cold, and you're already dividing the loot?
To the victor go the spoils. Being a part of the Brotherhood, you should learn to appreciate that sentiment. Just be aware that a Brotherhood Paladin is expected to be a symbol of integrity to our brothers and sisters. I trust you won't disappoint them, or disappoint me. In any event, we still have the Institute to contend with, and a lot of work to do before we can begin our final assault. While the finishing touches are being put onto Liberty Prime, Captain Kells has identified a potential threat to our operations. Report to him immediately for your next assignment. Ad Victorium.
Uh-huh.
Balonet Alpha at 93%. Compensating.
Pinging remote units at 30-second intervals as requested.
Ah, Paladin. Good. Now that the unfortunate matter regarding Danse has been settled, we can return to our primary mission.
Do you think Dance's execution was justified?
It's quite obvious Danse was a traitor. Or at the very least, a turncoat in the making. That machine's presence was endangering this ship and its crew. So it needed to be dealt with, swiftly and without mercy. Your actions in this matter were not only justified, they were vital to our mission. With all of that behind us,
no rest for the weary.
We'll rest when the Institute is a smoking ruin. Until then, Elder Maxson and I expect you to be at your best. Now, before we launch our attack on the Institute, we need to address another threat. The Railroad. They're a small but capable group that uses subterfuge and guerrilla tactics to harass their enemies. Our tactical analysis says they could possibly hamper or harm our operations, which is a risk I'm not willing to take. If we strike them now, we should be able to maximize the amount of damage we do to their organization.
Hit them before they hit us? I like it.
Precisely. Destroying the Railroad hinges on completely eliminating their leadership. Otherwise, they'll simply regroup somewhere else. To that end, here's a list of the 5 targets we believe would cause a catastrophic failure in their chain of command.
Should have buried those idiots when I was dealing with the chip.
Yes. It's quite disappointing that you allowed them to proceed this far. Now, before you depart, Proctor Ingram has additional orders for you to complete.
Our sources tell us that the Railroad has some sort of experimental or prototype robot in their headquarters. They're calling it the Predictive Analytic Machine, or PAM for short. Cute, huh? They use the robot for complex strategic calculations that are much more efficient than anything we can generate here. If you could use this holotape to decrypt the security on PAM's terminal, it will force the unit to return to the Prydwen. I'm certain we could put PAM's computing power to good use. Otherwise, destroy it. We wouldn't want it to fall into the Institute's hands.
I'm not saying
Anything useful you can tell me about Pam?
We have very little information on it. Its primary function is supposed to be using mathematical calculations in order to predict future events. I have no idea how successful it was, but if the Railroad's been using PAM for this long, it's got to be providing them with some sort of benefit. I'm sure Proctor Quinlan would be pleased to have it in his possession.
I think that should be sufficient information to assist you on the mission, Paladin. When you're ready, proceed to the Old North Church and link up with our assault team. They'll provide demolition support and all the firepower you'll need to take the railroad down. Ad Victorium, Paladin.
If you find anything interesting in the Railroad headquarters, don't forget to bring it back here.
Superstructure integrity green.
Proctor.
If you're no good at hacking PAM's systems, you should take someone with you who can.
Your promotion was well deserved, Paladin. I can't wait to see Liberty Prime in action again.